Dr. Winters, I've heard you can help people with autoimmune conditions, and you've got a track record of doing that. I want to come to your office in Paducah, Kentucky, but I can't yet. What do I do in the meantime? So I'm going to share with you today some of the things that you can do in the meantime in preparation for coming to our office. And the reason that you would want to come to our office is because we can more streamlined way identify the antigen or bad guy that's provoking the autoimmune response in your body, and we can reset your nervous system, your brain and nervous system, so that your immune system calms down. Because as your brain calms down, the limbic fight or flight part of your brain calms down, your immune system will calm down as well. So that's why you would want to come to our office. So let's talk about what you can do at home until you can get to our office, and I'll also cover a few things that we do specifically in our office. Now, the first thing that you can do is deflame your diet. If you've seen my video, Autoimmune Illness, How to Stop Attacking Yourself, which has about 12,000 views now on YouTube, you definitely want to see that, and you notice that that's the first step, is to deflame your diet. So you want to get more lean meats like grass-fed meats and chicken and wild-caught fish and lots of green leafy vegetables, and focus on vegetables and low-carb fruits. Those would be things like berries primarily. And you want to get the breads out, you want to get the grains out, you want to get the sugars out. Grains quickly turn into sugars. And we can have other videos where we talk about this. However, just look up an anti-inflammatory diet on the internet. Look up, if you want to go a little more strict, look up autoimmune paleo diet. Get on that type of diet and deflame your diet. You can start doing some of those things yourself. The other thing you need to do is start stabilizing your immune system. So the immune system works like a teeter-totter, and it gets off balance between Th1 natural killer cells and Th2 antibody cells. And that immune balance gets way off and causes a lot of people a lot of trouble. The first way to start stabilizing your immune system is to stabilize the foundation. You have to do that with adequate vitamin D levels. You've got to get your vitamin D levels at least 50, probably 60 to 80 is where you want it. And you can work with somebody, you can have somebody locally test your vitamin D levels and get them there, so you start to stabilize the foundation. Also, vitamin A can help do that. Sometimes omega-3 fats can help with that. But make sure you get your vitamin D levels good so you can stabilize your immune system. Now, when that teeter-totter in your immune system is off balance, different kinds of nutrients are going to help bring that back into balance. So if you're Th1 dominant and you need to bring up the Th2 side of the system, you're going to want things like green tea, grape seed, pine and willow barks, curcumin, resveratrol, and caffeine. If you try one or two of those things and they make you feel better, you may need more of that. If you try one or two of those things and they make you horrible, you might need to flip to the other side, the things that promote Th1, which are Echinacea, Astralgus, maitake and Reshi mushrooms, Glycyrrhiza from licorice. So you've got to be on one side or the other, and I'll post these nutrients on underneath the video so that you can review those and have a place to look at those. Now, something you also might need to do, especially if you got a really severe autoimmune attack, is you might need to get hooked up with somebody that uses standard process supplements. We do in our office. They have what are called protomorphogens. Protomorphogens are essentially decoys for the immune system. So if you have a stomach that's being damaged, you might need the dermatrophin protomorphogen to run interference, meaning your immune system will attack that protomorphogen and leave your stomach alone. That's how these protomorphogens work, and you might need to contact our office or another office that uses standard process supplements and get tied in with that, because they can help take some temporary relief off the immune system. They will not correct the problem, but they will take some stress off your system until you can get yourself repaired. Now, another thing that you can do is related to your nervous system. You can do breathing in a way that activates your vagus nerve, which is the counter to your fight-flight system. So the more your fight or flight system is engaged, the more that your immune system is going to be overactive. So you can do breathing where you would breathe in through the nose and then breathe out slowly like you're blowing a leaf away. So, and make that exhale as slow as possible. So I've got another video on that and I can link that video. But do that 5 or 10 minutes a day where you're breathing very long, slow exhales. That can help. There's also a tool for the brain that can be done at home called Brain Tap. And Brain Tap can be very effective in calming your nervous system and calming your immune system. In fact, there's a great immune program in the Brain Tap library. And so with Brain Tap, you're listening to some guided meditation, very gentle music. There's specific sounds that go in one ear versus the other, and they are set to take your brain through a relaxation response like a mini sleep cycle. And I can post our link in the comments below so that you can get a 7-day free trial of Brain Tap at home and see what that's about and start using it to help calm your nervous system, which can therefore help calm your immune system. The other thing you might want to do is something called whole brain posture, and that's simply you do it sitting down, but you cross one ankle over the other, cross the wrist in the opposite way there, and then just slowly meditate or take some deep breaths, and that helps connect the left and right brain. For some people it could be just the opposite way. But you can sit in that whole brain posture and that will relax your nervous system. Now, in the office, we are able to do something called quantum neuro reset therapy. And as it relates to autoimmune illnesses, quantum neuro reset therapy can give us a huge advantage. So there is a specific way that we activate the brain, and once the brain is activated, that's just with some visual stimulus, once the brain is activated, there are reflex points on the body that will show up tied to different antigens or bad guys. And if you watched our previous video, you know that's one of the steps is to find the antigen, the bad guy. Well, these reflex points are extremely, amazingly accurate, and there are reflex points for different types of bacterial infections, including Lyme and Rocky Mountain spotted fever and things like that, for different types of viral infections like Epstein-Barr, for fungal infections, and for other immune infections. Then there are points for food sensitivities, gluten, dairy, soy, etc. There are points for environmental reactions such as to mold, things like that. There are points for toxins, whether it be plastics or pesticides or household cleaners or things like that. And there are points for heavy metal toxins, mercury, lead, nickel, arsenic, etc. These points can really give us an idea of what your brain and immune system is targeting, because we do a lot of things with labs, but if you have 3 or 4 findings on of different antigens or bad guys with lab testing, you still have to decide what's primary, what to work on first, and these QNRT autoimmune protocols can give us a great roadmap for doing that. Then what QNRT, quantum neural reset therapy, does is calm the brain so that the immune system can be more calm. And there is a big relationship between stresses, emotional stresses, and autoimmune disease. And so there is a paper, for example, this paper, and you may not be able to see it here, but cumulative childhood stress and autoimmune disease in adults. And so that states the relationship between adverse childhood events and autoimmune diseases as an adult. And I'm not going to give you the statistics here, but just look that up. Cumulative childhood stress and autoimmune disease in adults. And so you'll see that there is a big relationship there. Another paper on PubMed says that 80% of people report a major emotional or traumatic event prior to the onset of their autoimmune disease. And we see that in histories that we take from patients very often. So there is a relationship between our emotional stresses, our brain, and our immune response. And so QNRT works with that. And so if the reflex points have shown us the antigen, whether it's mercury or it's Lyme or it's Epstein-Barr, there are certain emotional stresses that can predispose us to overreacting to those antigens. And QNRT is reading the story that your body is telling us, because there's nothing separate between the mind and the body as far as its connection. And so your body, by testing functional areas, functional tests of the brain and checking reflex points with the laser light, we can tell which brain area is involved, which tissue area is involved, which reflex points are involved that would indicate a long-term stress or a short-term stress, and reflex points that indicate the nature of that stress. Then we will relay the story that your body is telling us, that this appears to be a stress at this specific age related to this specific type of emotions. What do you know about that? It's crazy how accurate what your body tells us is. And you'll search your memory banks for what fits, and we'll help you with that. Then we'll verify through a test on the nervous system if that's the right thing that we have essentially up on the screen of the brain. And when we've got the right thing up on the screen of the brain, we're going to reset the brain with light, sound, touch to functionally activate the brain and essentially hit delete on your computer of your nervous system, so that that stress is no longer triggering your limbic system, your fight-flight responses in your body, and triggering a heightened alert of the immune system. So as we calm down this emotion, brain, immune system connection, and we detoxify you from that infection, or help your immune system clear that infection with very specific refined homeopathics that are designed for each infection, or we help your immune system clear that toxin, then things can really calm down, and your immune system can go back more toward a baseline and not be so overreactive. And this is helping us get crazy good results with people with autoimmune conditions. So that's why you want to come to our office, so we can do these QNRT autoimmune protocols with you. And that they can't be done over the internet, they can't be done through a phone call. You've got to be in our office for that. But I want to share this video with you specifically on things that you can do in the meantime to help yourself until you can get things arranged to actually come to our office in Paducah, Kentucky. And we have a very specific email that we can send those that are interested in doing that, but you can fly into Paducah through Chicago, or you can fly into Nashville and drive about 2.25 hours to our office. And we have a number of hotels nearby, and we have processes set up for people to come in from a distance to see us and help them get past these autoimmune conditions and get their life back and have energy and enjoy their life. So if you're looking to do something to help yourself before you come see us in anticipation of seeing our office, these are some things that you can do. I'm Dr. Michael Winters, Winters Wellness, Chiropractic Redefined.